Hello, folks. This is Joe from MIGeekScene. I'm at the Michigan Renaissance Festival with the Knotty Nauticals, the Pirate Shantyman, and the Bonnie Lass. How are you two doing?
We're doing great. It's been a great day so far, and we're doing really good.
Well, welcome back to Murph.
Thank you.
I just like saying Murph. That's just so random. Well, this is the opening day of the season. Thoughts so far?
It's beautiful. It's Michigan weather, so it's partly cloudy, and I don't even know how long we've been here. 10, 11, 12 years?
I think it's 12.
But we love it here, and we're glad to be back because it's a good fair.
Okay. Well, usually when I'm encountering Ren Faire performers, I usually open it with this question. What was your first exposure to the Ren Faire scene? Not as performers, but just as people.
As a patron, I went to King Richard's Fair in Massachusetts ever since I was a little girl before
Carver,
I can
Mass.
remember. Yep. So I grew up as one of the little kids that running around at a Renaissance festival.
How about you, sir?
Same here. We were in the Boston area, went to Carver, the King Richard's Fair for many years as a child. Growing up, our family went there, and it was a family outing every year, and just grew up really loving it. Had a lot of musical influences growing up, so I would love to go to the fair and like carry a mandolin around. Even though I wasn't a performer there, I would kind of pretend to be one until we actually got signed up and became cast members there.
Yep.
Okay.
And that's how we met.
As disjointed as this question is, well, what is it that you two do? I know, but for the audience, the very few that don't know, could you please explain your act?
We are highly interactive, comedy-based pirate show with fire eating, rope walking, juggling, and sometimes we do comedic songs. Fair enough?
Fair enough. Fine.
All right. What made you decide to jump into the Ren Faire world as performers? What made you decide to take the jump?
Well, we were both cast members at our home show in Boston, King Richard's Fair, and we met there, and we kind of learned from other fellow performers that you could make a living traveling the country working at these things, and we both had a passion for it, and both theater people. We wanted to pursue it.
My family's a huge theater family, and he got in a very bad car accident and decided that you can either do something with your life or you can do the same thing over and over again. So he decided to go on the road, and I said, sure, I'll go with you. We just kind of jumped home and went on a crazy adventure, and it stuck because it's awesome. But yeah.
How long have you two been doing this?
12 years. 12 years full-time, on the road, living where we work, and moving every couple months to a new event. It's pretty neat.
I mean, obviously, when I watched you perform last year, and that's what planted the seed for me wanting to do this interview with you two this year, obviously you balance comedy with danger. Do you have any comedic influences?
Hugely for me is Robin Williams, and then so many female like Lucille Ball and Carol Burnett. I could watch those three actors continuously every single day for my whole entire existence.
For me, comedy-wise, was all the old Saturday Night Live crew, like Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Chevy Chase, all of those guys, truly geniuses of comedy, and that's where my influence came from, because a lot of those late nights watching Saturday Night Live and loving all those comedians. So.
All right, what about as performers? Do you have any folks from the Ren Faire world as influences on you?
Well, when we were doing music, we definitely looked up to people like the Minstrels of Mayhem
It's
and
true.
some of those
Corsairs,
acts,
some of the Pirates Royale, some of the pirate acts out there.
People who
really.
added a lot of persona in their show when they did music and also try to contribute comedy. Currently, I love Danielle, the Washing Well Wenches. They are hugely, wonderfully comedic women on stage. They are amazing.
Great character actors.
Hey
great
Nunny
characters.
Nunny, Shannon and Dana, they are phenomenal female
And certainly people like Don Juan Miguel,
Yep,
some of the
been doing
elder
it
statements like that, and Jeff Cobb, who's Tom Selectomy, a great comedian, a sword swallower, but taught us a lot about comedy and how to do comedy and how to perform comedy. And people like Terry Foy, who's
Zilch the Tory
Zilch the
Stellar.
Tory
He
Stellar.
does, yeah.
And he's another old school Rennie who's been doing this for a long time, Renaissance performer who's been doing it a long time, and we really respect him and learned a lot from him performing with him over the years.
Excellent. Also, when watching your show, I noticed that you have two different shows. Can you explain the difference between your family-friendly and your bawdy show?
Yes.
Your rated R show.
Right. We do a mostly family-friendly, regular fire-eating, rope-walking show during the day for our first shows of the day. And then at the end of the day, at some festivals, because not every festival lets us do it, we do an absolutely inappropriately wonderful naughty adult show.
Yep, we kick out the kids and we
Yeah.
have a naughty good time with a bunch of drunken adults.
Because
and
we're
just-
normal adults like everyone else.
And we like to have fun.
I mean, that's a good way to blow off steam. I
It
mean,
is, yeah.
would you? I don't know. Maybe if you repressed that all the time, you'd probably snap mid-show, and you wouldn't need that to happen at all.
No, you
No.
don't want to snap mid-show. I'm already crazy enough eating fire.
Well, speaking of fire, I did notice that one of the videos that I looked, you did an impromptu. Well, you do your $5 trick where you transfer fire from one stick on your tongue to the other, but then I guess a booby transfer.
I know where you're going with this. I know where you're going with this.
And you did
That
one.
was here.
Yeah,
Was it here or in Carolina?
It's happened in both places, in many places.
In
but
Carolina, somebody gave the Shantyman a $20 to light his nipple on fire.
we make jokes
and-
about it, and we say, give us a $5 tip. It's the $5 stunt. But then it leads up to, for a $20 bill, I'll set my nipple on fire just as a joke.
Somebody
But
did.
somebody called me on it and stood up with a $20 bill in hand and said, "Prove it." So then at that naughty show that day, then I had to
And it's only
do
fair
that.
if I do
and-
it as well. So yes.
So we both did, and it's happened at a couple of the shows because we continue to make that joke, and often, one or two
Somebody
times,
wants him
somebody
to set
calls
his
us on
nipple
it.
on fire.
Well, as you've been performing, have you had any Spinal Tap moments?
I mean, our microphones always go up to 11.
Goes up to 11.
Our life, I mean, the show that we do is a comedy show, so absolutely, we pretty much,
We just
it's like
try
a
to-
living Spinal
yes.
Tap thing. We also used to sing songs. Before we started doing the fire eating, the rope walking, we did a lot more comedy
Yep.
and songs, and so then it really was, a lot of our
Ye
comedy.
old Spinal Tap.
Yes. Yes. So absolutely, yes.
Okay. Also, just to delve a little bit into your personal lives, because I do like to give a slight glimpse behind the people.
Ah.
The people behind the performers. You are a huge hockey fan.
It's true.
Favorite team, sir?
Boston Bruins. We're from Boston, so a big fan of the Bruins. Just hometowner all the way. And although being here in the Michigan Fair, we also respect Detroit. They got a really good team up
Yep,
here in
Red
Detroit.
Wings.
So always watch the Red Wing games too, and they won a few cups here, and I watched them win a few cups. So we respect the Red Wings too. But I'm a big Bruins fan.
Yep. Hometown.
Okay. And for you, you're an artiste.
I am.
The name of your art page, from what I understand, is it ARG
Yep,
Art?
ARG Art. ARG are my initials. Alicia Ray Grant is
Born
my,
to be a
my,
pirate.
my real name. And ARG Art. And I've been doing art ever since I can remember. I was most artistic of my senior class. I had a scholarship to AIB. I love creating anything. And yeah, art, it's more for me, but it ends up being for other people too, which is kind of neat.
Okay. Any artistic influences?
Not really off the top of my head. Boy, I could tell you my high school art teacher's name that inspired me, which was Miss Sosnowska and Mr. Rogacki. And it's weird how those things stick with you. But the people that encouraged me not to think of it as a extracurricular activity and something that you can actually just put your heart and soul into and actually help it support you financially would be those two people. I do a lot of tattoo work. So it seems like the more tattoo artists that I befriend through our show, I find different things. Some of the things like phoenixes come from tattoo artists that I've talked to that have told me about things that are super popular that I should try to focus on because they'd like to see my art in that style. So no specific influences, but more just the fans of our show and the people that I talk to.
I guess I can add being a psychic interpreter to the list of things that you do, because actually, a reoccurring theme that I did notice in your artwork was phoenixes. Was there a
Phoenixes.
particular reason behind that?
So a lot of my artwork, even though it maybe isn't tattoo based, people see it as a good because it's bold and it's colorful. And phoenixes were something that I had so many people ask me for to make tattoos. So as soon as I started doing it, and it was a creature I never even wanted to draw or make at all. And as soon as I started doing it, it became really fun. Skeletons too. I've had a lot of people try to ask me to do skeletons because I do a sugar skull kind of style skeleton. And also just tattoo based. I have somewhere over 10 people that have my art on their body as a tattoo, which is really neat.
Yeah, so that must be a good feeling. I mean, one of the things I did notice about your artwork was skeleton swallowing a flame, and I
Yes.
thought that was pretty cool.
Yes, that's life imitating art or art imitating life. Either way, it works perfect. but-
Show-inspired
Yep,
artwork.
Yep, absolutely.
Also, one last thing as far as the personal things go, I noticed that you were a huge fan of Star Wars.
Oh my God, yes. Yes.
Geekdom.
Unhealthily so. It's true. Actually, Shantyman has given me a necklace recently that has the I love you, I know, and the rebel symbol on either side. And I was born in 1586 if you're at the Renaissance Fair, 1986 if you're in nowadays. So I'm not of the generation that saw it in theaters, but I saw it when it came out in its 20th anniversary in theaters. And I was a Jawa when I was 4 years old for Halloween. It has like been ingrained. My parents were cool, so I love Star Wars because they did, which is neat. But yeah, we go to Star Wars down in Disney. The only reason why we go to Disney is for Star Wars. And, yeah.
Not the only reason, but yeah, we've done Star Wars weekends down in Disney a couple of years.
Yeah.
How excited are you about the upcoming Rogue One?
I'm pretty excited. I'm honestly more excited about Rogue One than I was about 7, but just because it's a neat storyline that I wasn't anticipating, if that makes sense. It's in a time space that I didn't think that they were actually going to focus on making a movie.
But we all cried when Han Solo died.
Oh, we did. Even our 8-year-old
We were proud
cried,
that our
and we were
son
so
looked
proud.
over and he was crying during the scene, and we were like, we did good as parents.
Oh, come on, you could have saw that coming.
Well,
Oh, of course, we
did,
knew it
but
was going to
still,
happen,
we're
but
proud
it
that the kid was
still
sad.
tore at the heartstrings.
It's okay. Hey, better Han than Chewie. Just saying.
Yeah.
Better Han than Chewie.
Actually, someone I knew wrote a fan fiction on that movie from the point of view of a work safety inspector, and they were pointing out like how that walkway had no railings whatsoever.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah,
right.
if OSHA had ever gone on board at any of those ships, there would have been fines and penalties and lockouts all over the place. Yes.
Absolutely.
Or Matt, the radar technician.
Yes.
You know, he's super shredded, from what I understand.
Yeah. Danger.
Well, actually, as we're going back into your show, I do notice that you two like to incorporate sign language into your show.
Yep.
Why? If I may, well, sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this question without
It's
coming off as a
okay.
And
And honestly,
what inspired that, should I say?
not a lot of people do sign language in their shows, so it's definitely something that makes us unique. I had a friend when I was younger that both of his parents were deaf, so I knew very little sign language when I was younger. When we had our first son, we did baby sign because people said it was a communication gap with children. It actually worked phenomenally. Our son could talk early, he could communicate before
Still knows
he
it.
could speak.
Still knows some.
He still involuntarily does sign language when he says words. It's stuck with him. So we just started doing it in the show. And then we noticed that we were connecting with a totally different audience. We had families that were coming into the festival that had somebody with them that was deaf, that in all of the shows that they watched, our show connected special with them because we did sign language. And with what we do, it's the connection with the audience that makes our type of working at a Renaissance Fair special. You can work in theater anywhere. When you work at a Renaissance Fair, you connect with your audience on a very human level. So being special for that 1% of people that come to our job is actually really neat.
And we realized that that was very funny. Some of the stuff that
so
we incorporated
funny.
in there really worked well.
It's universal,
comedy-wise,
even if you don't know it.
and
it
then
still
it just
works.
continued to steamroll from there and snowball from there, and we just added it and added it and added it and try to work in as much as we can.
You mean like poop?
Yes, yes. Yeah, when for some reason that we had taught that to the boy when he was a baby, and that was one of the handful of
stuck.
signs that
No
we knew,
joke,
and
we
it
knew.
stuck. Yeah, literally. And the poop, once we happened to throw the poop thing in the show, it just got lots of laughs, and it was all downhill from there, if you will.
Yeah.
And then we just really, I do as many little jokes and quibs as I can in there, and she's probably trying to shut me up half the time, but I just go with it and go with it and go with it and go with it, and as many laughs as we can get.
No, you're both very entertaining.
Thank you.
Well, as we're wrapping up this interview, what does, I also ask this to every Ren Faire performer, what does the Ren Faire community mean to you?
It's home. Boy, I never experienced anything like being with your community and living and working together and always supporting each other. It is a beautiful and misunderstood community of our generation, I think.
I mean, to us, it's our family, It's for when we show up to one of these fairs, it's like coming home. Literally, we just got to town yesterday, but it's
People
like coming
say,
home.
welcome home. when
Because
we
we're
get
like a
here,
turtle. We
and-
carry our home on our back everywhere we go. We carry our rig with us. We travel the country in a fifth wheel and tow it all across the country in a ship. So really, it's like coming home, because these performers, other performers and entertainers and vendors and crafters out here are our family. So it really is. It's like a pretty tight-knit community, and we all try to watch out for each other. And some of us go on to the next show together, and some of us then split and go off to other shows. We go to Carolina next. A lot of people go to Texas next, and a lot of us have different tours, but we all end up back again at another
Sometime.
show back with them the next year, and it's like a big family.
Okay. And if people wanted to find out more about you online, where could they go?
They can Google us or Facebook us, Knotty Nauticals, not like the knot in a rope.
Knotty Nautical, Nautical, Knotty Nauticals.
And we also have a website at knottynauticals.yolasite.com.
Okay. And final question. What would you like to say to your fans throughout the years?
I freaking love you guys, and thank you so much for all of your support and love and big sweaty pirate hugs always.
Yeah, and like us, if you want to be a part of this great thing, the Renaissance thing, come on, check it
it.
out.
Oh my
Michigan
gosh.
Renaissance Festival, check out their website,
Yep.
and there's all kinds of information. So you can join up, be a member of the cast, and come out here and play with us.
Yep.
All right, well, folks, this is Joe from MIGeekScene standing here with the Knotty Nauticals of the Bonnie Lass and the Pirate Shantyman.
Arr.
Take it easy.